Welcome to All Caps.
Yay.
The United States of America continues to crush it. It's a great country. Is it a problem that a lot of the terrible things that are happening right now happened because, like in 1787, a bunch of rich dudes didn't want to pay taxes, liked owning human beings, and owned guns that shot once every 2.5 minutes? I think it's not great. Here's Steve Kerr, head of Game 4, Mavericks Warriors, in Dallas, Texas, after the Uvalde school shooting.
Now we have children murdered at school. When are we gonna do something? I'm tired. I'm so tired of getting up here and offering condolences to the devastated families that are out there. I'm so tired of I'm tired of the moments of silence. Enough. There's 50 senators right now who refuse to vote on H.R. 8, which is a background check rule that the House passed a couple of years ago. It's been sitting there for 2 years. And there's a reason they won't vote on it, to hold on to power.
Well, Joe Manchin, who we all love, was asked about this, and would you change the filibuster rules in order for certain legislation such as this to get through the Senate? And Manchin was like, "Oh, filibuster, get rid of that. That's the easy way out." What makes you think they won't reverse it immediately if they don't like what we do? Just if anybody needed a reminder that Joe Manchin is not a smart man, number one. Two, if there's an emergency like mass murders, it seems like the easy way out is good. Why make it hard? Why are we trying to do this the hard way? I think, personally, America's ready for the easy way out right about now.
It's like seeing a fire escape and being like,
don't do that.
No, absolutely
Why
not.
are you running from the grind, Mike,
Yeah.
by taking the fire escape?
I called God and told him to make the flames bigger. That's how much I believe in the grind.
Anyway, so H.R. 8, it's there. It'd be great if we could get a vote on it and just see where people stand, at least. According to the Pew Research, gun control is extremely popular. Here's Adam Grant, organizational psychologist and a guy who knows a lot about business and business organizations, government organizations in general. That's what he studies. Key principles on gun safety: 81% support universal background checks, 87% want a ban on gun purchases by those with mental illness, and 80% reject concealed carry without a permit. Pretty easy, but for some reason we can't do it. And the reason is because a minority amount of activists and their political lackeys refuse to let this go through, which is a sick state of affairs, but that's where we are right now. Let's go to the game. The game sucked. The game fucking sucked. The conference finals suck. These series have been fucking shit. First quarter, second quarter, halftime, third quarter, fourth quarter, and post-game. Complete caca-doo-doo, and we have to cover it. What was the best thing about the game? Mark Cuban's house is shit. Fix your fucking house, Mark Cuban. The roof is leaking. You're a fucking billionaire, and there's shit coming from the ceiling. Here we go.
It's been one of the best in the NBA.
It's Mark Cuban's building. Get it fixed.
Look at Luka. Luka's like, what are you talking about? Water, roof, floor?
I don't want to hear shit from Mark Cuban ever again until he fixes his fucking roof. What is happening with you, bro?
They've used every towel on that bench to soak up the moisture.
That must be a lot of rain and water coming through. And now they're bringing out the ball rack out
You're
here.
You're taking towels from the athletes in the game because your roof is shit. And shouts to the fucking game day staff who are literally just standing around being like, well, we threw 40 towels on it. What else? Does anybody else have any other ideas? This is it. This has happened before. This has happened during the season also. Like, fix your shit, bro. Are you pressed? Like, is your wallet lighter than you're letting on? Like, fucking hire some top-notch contractors. Get up there and fucking fix it. This is the Western Conference Finals, bro. And you're doing this in a leaky-ass ghost house. What the fuck? Anyway, the game sucked. Let's talk about Jason Kidd being up to his bullshit again. Now, Jason Kidd is a genius with the rules. As an elite court vision guy, one of the greatest point guards we have ever seen, he understands the visual angles that are on a basketball court that players have to deal with and coaches have to deal with, and he understands how to play those angles to his advantage. Let's go to one of the most famous incidents involving Jason Kidd understanding what goes on the sidelines. Here is Jason Kidd as the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. telling Tyshawn Taylor to spill a drink on him. Now, the context is the Nets didn't have a timeout. It's a 94-95 game. Lakers up by 1 with 8 seconds left. Jason Kidd wanted to stop play so that he could call a play, but he didn't have a timeout. So he had his own player run into him, causing him to spill a drink on the court, causing a stoppage in play. Now, here it is.
Taking a drink and, whoa. Ice and cola.
Look at the way he looks around like, what happened here? Anyway, Jason Kidd was fined for this. This is an absolutely Bush League, smart, but Bush League. It's one of those things where it's like, that's brilliant, but like, I have my hand on my wallet whenever I'm around you, Jason Kidd. Now, fast forward to Warriors Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals. Why are Mavericks players, specifically Theo Pinson, standing up on the sidelines near the border of the sideline and the court, wearing a white shirt that does not match any Mavericks gear at all, standing there to appear to Warriors players as if one of their teammates is open on the sideline? Here is Steph Curry passing to Theo Pinson. And look, Theo Pinson is standing there with his hand up. Like, give me the ball. And just in case you wondered if that was an accident, here's Theo Pinson later in Game 3 doing the exact fucking same thing.
Do me a favor. Is this a crazy? Can you change your color shirt? Thank you. Will you? I appreciate it. Yeah.
I love Theo Pinson smiling, saying why, with the look on his face when you get caught doing something, but somehow think that you could possibly get away with it still. And by the way, Theo Pinson did not change. They'll gladly take the fine. He should actually go to the locker room, get like a blue and yellow marker, and then draw like a fucking jersey, like a Warriors jersey on his
What's
shirt.
to stop him
just
from wearing a replica Warriors jersey? Like, this is...
Honestly, absolutely nothing. At this point, nothing. Like, nothing. He could do it. He should wear like a Mitchell and Ness, like an Earl Boykins, like from the early 2000s, and be like, what? I love Earl Boykins. What? He was great. Earl the Pearl. Let's go to the Celtics and Heat series, which also sucks. Not much to say there. Jimmy Butler is on one leg. It was the first time in a long time that Jimmy Butler was on the court, and literally, I forgot about him. He did nothing. The Celtics are big. They are deep, and they're just going to win this series unless Miami turns it into a fucking wrestling match. But in other Miami news, let's talk about the body fat, the famed, infamous body fat rules that Pat Riley instilled with the New York Knicks during his time with them in the 90s. Then he went to the Heat. He brought that same kind of like, we're going to be the best in shape, hardest playing, hardest nose, most disliked. And he put that body fat regime in there. Here is Jermaine O'Neal talking about leaving the Heat because he didn't want to adhere to these rules. Quote, I remember going to the pantry at night looking at the Oreos looking at me. I am in full battle daily on what I ate. And I was like, bruh, I'm 30 plus years old. I can't do this. Which leads me to ask, what happened with Kyle Lowry? Did they just let this go? Is this no longer a thing anymore? Because whatever these body fat rules are, Kyle Lowry is breaking them. There's no way that Kyle Lowry, and I love Kyle Lowry. I think he's great. Hard-nosed player. Like, enjoyed his career. The late first-round draft pick to then go on and have the long-lasting impact that he's had with multiple teams, most notably the Raptors, now the Miami Heat. I think it's great, but also this guy's body fat, ass alone body fat is 30%. I just need a clarification on this because we've heard for all these years and decades about the Heat and their rules, and I just feel like they're letting it go right now. Let's go to the meat. Our good friend Christian Winfield at the New York Daily News has reported a story that basically is like, hey, don't be surprised if Kyrie leaves. Last summer, I got a tip I didn't want to believe. A source familiar with the inner workings of the Nets roster told me James Harden would leave Brooklyn, followed by Kyrie Irving, then ultimately KD. A purported course of events that would undoubtedly send the Nets back to the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings after just 3 seasons in the spotlight. This is like penthouse letters, isn't it? Christian then goes on to say the Nets basically don't want to extend Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is up for a multi-year max extension, and if you're the Nets or anybody, why would you do that? Vaccine stuff aside, Kyrie doesn't play a full season. Like, that never happens. Whether it's him just legitimately disappearing for a period of time or him being injured, he doesn't play a full season. Now you add the vaccine stuff into it, and you've got 20-something games that he played. I don't know why you would max a guy out for that. And now he is the bane of Bob Vulgaris. He is the Athletics' Tim Cato here. Tim, how are you?
I'm doing good. I assume we're just here to talk about the 16-minute indoor rain delay.
That's it.
Okay.
Is Mark Cuban broke? Like, why can't he fix his roof? What's going on?
I've been looking into this phenomenon, rain. And apparently it happens everywhere,
Yes.
including Dallas.
Why is Mark skimping on roofing tiles? Like, did we think it was fixed the first time? Like, and what's happening?
I mean, let's put our tinfoil caps on. Do we think it was just random that the leak was dropping right by the Warriors bench? I mean, clearly Theo Pinson was in the roof, just, with an ice pick, just poking holes.
Back to the game, the Mavericks managed to avoid the sweep. Going forward, it's clear that the Mavs need to put that second star next to Luka. We thought it was KP for a little while. Turned out it wasn't him. It's probably not 6-foot Jalen Brunson. What are the Mavericks thinking in that regard, and what can they do?
First off, you're not going to get someone comparable to Luka. He's that good. You're not going to get another top 5 player. Clearly, the Mavericks need more talent. They don't have enough depth. But I think they need better role players. I think they need more dynamism around the roster. I think that's very clear. If Andrew Wiggins was on this team, he's not a star. Nobody would call Andrew Wiggins a star. But the concept of that type of player would, I think, really amplify a team that is in the Western Conference Finals.
You mentioned the new regime in the front office that goes through there's a new regime everywhere, basically. The Mavericks have had tremendous turnover the last couple of years. Nico Harrison comes in for Don Nelson. Rick Carlisle is out. Bob Voulgaris is out. And immediately this team goes into the Western Conference Finals. Vindication, I think, for change. Your thoughts on this turnover and the fact that all of a sudden the Mavericks seem like they've taken a step as a franchise?
Yeah, I think Game 4 was proof of concept that this team had the best record in the NBA since January started, in the calendar year, that they have developed something that works. I think it's more proof that Luka is exactly who we thought he was, a top 5 player in this league, maybe higher. The Mavericks had a game plan, had a strategy, have developed an identity, really, about Luka creating threes for his teammates and just being really good and then playing scrappy defense on the other end. And that's what got them to the conference finals. And that's what got them a game, a win in Game 4.
Then finally, as a Texas guy, do you have a cowboy hat? Do you own one?
I do not.
Do you own cowboy boots?
I own boots, but I wouldn't call them cowboy boots.
When's the last time you rode a horse?
Ooh, I have, but I was probably early teenage years.
Okay.
Little high school field trip action.
How many people in your social group would you say, what percentage own cowboy hats?
That's a much higher percentage. I'd say 50-50.
Wow.
50% of them. I'm not saying they wear it all the time.
Right.
They're not busting it out going to a bar. But I will say there's a bar down the street from my house called Rodeo Bar. Good place. Good place. No line dancing breaks out there, but free pool, good happy hour specials.
Tim, thank you so much for joining us and taking us into the Texas cowboy culture. The Underdog Fantasies Pick'em game is the easiest and most fun way to spice up your NBA season. Just pick over or under on your favorite or least favorite player stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in a single night. Celtics-Heat tonight. How many points, assists, and rebounds will Jason Tatum accumulate? How many shots will Miami Heat throw off the back rim? How many steals by the one-legged Jimmy Butler? Underdog keeps it super simple with their easy-to-use website and mobile app. Use code ALLCAPS, ALLCAPS, and get your first deposit doubled by Underdog. Sign up and play today.
Golden State is going to the finals for the 6th time in the last 8 years. This crowd is back. They're on their feet, and their Warriors are going to the NBA Finals again.
Here is Idris Elba talking about Michael Jordan.
So Jordan had these wicked getaways in the Bahamas, you know what I'm saying? He would invite a bunch of people out, you know what I'm saying? I think me and Gabrielle Union went out.
I'll tell you what, Worst gig in media is Joe LaPuma's job right here is being the person who interviews Idris Elba. I don't want to stand next to this fucking guy and have my self-esteem ruined forever and ever the rest of my life. You just got to stand there and be like, I 100% know that I look like a fucking shit smear next to this guy right here. We be talking about anything. It doesn't matter. Like, he's wearing literally a white t-shirt and khakis, and I will never, ever, ever approach the levels of handsomeness that this guy has. And I got to stand here. I'm like trying the hardest I can with this like chore coat on, and it's just not happening for me. I'm smiling and shit. Just cut me out of this video.
I even said to him one time, I want to play you.
Really?
He was like, I'm not ready yet.
Okay.
That's all he said. I'm not ready yet.
This is how good-looking Idris Elba is. Michael Jordan was like, no, you can't play me because I will look bad now. Like, when people would have, if Idris Elba would have been allowed to play Jordan in whatever thing this was, people who didn't know Michael Jordan, too young to have seen Michael Jordan, right? They would have watched this, and then they would have been like, oh, Michael Jordan, wow. And then they would have seen a picture of real Michael Jordan and be like, fuck, that's the guy?
With his Hennessy stained eyes.
Yeah, that's the guy?
I wish biopics would just start going completely unhinged with their casting, because like anybody who you're gonna find who looks similar to the guy is probably not a talented actor, and any talented actor probably isn't gonna look like the guy. So just cast Louis Guzman.
Right, just be like as Michael Jordan. In other news, Lizard King Skip Bayless had his wonderful and charming wife on the program to talk about LeBron James.
What do you think of LeBron James? Just quick thought. Obviously, I've had my issues with LeBron as a basketball player.
What is this set? Where are you supposed to be? What is this background? Can anybody tell me what this is?
It looks like Superman's home. It looks like Krypton a little bit.
Yeah, like
Fortress of Solitude.
I think he's a lousy shooter from three and from the free throw line, and I question whether he was born with a Jordan-esque clutch gene. But I don't even know.
I love that his wife immediately said clutch gene, repeated it. Now, later in this clip, Skip says, I don't talk about LeBron at home. And yet, right here, his wife, as soon as he says Jordan-esque, she finishes the phrase clutch gene, leading me to believe that, you know what? I think Skip talks about LeBron at home.
All those tweets he's getting off about LeBron aren't not at home. Like,
yeah, like
he's tweeting about LeBron constantly at home.
Yeah,
like
100%. Skip, stop fucking lying. And also, why is there a mic on a table and nobody is near the mic? Like, why? Yeah, what is that?
Until this moment, have we ever had a long conversation about LeBron James? I'm not.
No, I don't bring it up.
Okay,
because I'm afraid.
Okay,
I like LeBron. I'm sorry.
LeBron has never actually acknowledged Skip Bayless, but what if he just acknowledges Ernestine now?
Like Drake and the guy who fucking roasted him on Instagram's wife. Just be like, now I follow your wife.
I'm not surprised.
I think that he's done wonderful things for being a role model.
Yes,
you know,
I give you that.
I know he curses occasionally, but everybody curses occasionally.
He curses a lot.
You curse occasionally.
Every once in a while, I do.
Skip, this conversation makes you look 85 fucking years old and retired. This is the most washed fucking conversation I've ever. It's you and your wife speaking like retirees, talking about, oh, he does curse a little bit. I guess he curses some. Don't ever do this again. This is awful. Seriously.
I thought they were about to start talking about if he got enough fiber. Like, what is he doing?
This is seriously the most washed segment I have ever seen. Don't do this anymore. Mike, you have something to plug. Plug your plug.
I do. It was supposed to be Thursday, but it has moved to Wednesday now, June 1st. Your boy's Comedy Central set is dropping. So do check that out. It'll be available on the old YouTube, so do check your boy out.